Hey kiddos, happy Friday, or Monday or Tuesday or whenever it is that you get around to watching my video. I hope you all are doing well, getting ready for the weekend or coming off of a relaxing weekend. But I have some updates for you that I need to share with you. I know that I've kind of brought up in the past that the deadline would eventually show up for us to decide what to do for next semester. And I've kind of put it in your heads, but maybe you've forgotten that or we're missing some information, and that's okay. I just want to give you a kind of update about where we're at. This information is what I have as of 1:45 p.m. on Friday, November 13th. So things could change between the time of me recording this and the time of you watching it. If that's the case, make sure you're checking Google Classroom for any updates. Whether that's from me, from another teacher, from an administrator. You can check the district website in case things might change on their end. But as of me recording this, I'm going to give you the information I have. It's always subject to change, but as of right now, I just want to tell you where we're at. The deadline to decide what you want to do for next semester is Friday, November 20th. Normally, second semester would start at the very beginning of January, but because we started school late, instead of right after winter break, we're going to come back for semester one for a couple of weeks. We'll still be online for that. Still be in this virtual setting that we've been in for the last couple of weeks, and even all the way back to part of last year. And that's okay. So we're going to finish out first semester virtually no matter what. But you have a decision to make for semester two. You can choose to remain online. You absolutely can. And for some of you, online has been going phenomenally, and we are doing amazing things with it. For some of us, it's kind of hard, but we're making it work. And for some of us, it's really, really hard, and we're kind of struggling. We all learn differently. We all process things differently, and that is okay. Totally okay that we're all on a different track for where we're at and what works for us. I take online classes myself, and they're really hard, so I understand. But you guys have to make the decision about what you want to do for second semester. There will be a form in your parents' Infinite Campus portal. If your parents don't have access to Infinite Campus, either contact me and I can get them set up, or contact your advocate, or they can contact the front office and the office can help them get that set up. You guys yourselves will not be able to access the form. It will have to be through the parent portal. We've talked about the hybrid option. Virtual option will be exactly like what we're doing now. You'll log into Zoom or Google Meets, but it should be Canvas, but we sometimes have tech issues. But you'll be logging on like we have been, with that asynchronous time versus synchronous time that we've kind of gotten used to. Virtual will stay roughly the same. Hybrid will be very, very different. Hybrid, you will be in the building a couple of days a week and at home the others. I don't know how that's going to fully work yet. It's going to depend on how many of you choose that option, which days you'll be in the building and which days you'll be at home. I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to tell you that I have all the answers because I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give you the information I have and as much as I possibly can share it with you. If you choose hybrid, you'll be in the building a couple days a week. That will look very different than school looked before spring break, before we went virtual. You'll have to wear a face mask. You'll go through a temperature scanner when you come in before metal detectors, just to make sure that we're trying to keep everybody safe and not sick. And I know that COVID symptoms are very similar to cold and flu season, which is what we're getting into. But we want to make sure that we keep you guys safe that are coming back into the building, but that we also keep our custodians, our teachers, our paras, our guidance counselors, our social workers, our secretaries, our administrators, our librarians, and all of those important people that keep our building functioning like we want it to. We want to keep all of them as safe as possible. So you'll have to go through some health screenings to come back, just so that we make sure you're safe. I will have to do the same thing when I come back into the building. I went into the building earlier this week. I had to fill out a health survey and they had to take my temperature before I could go to my classroom. You guys will have to do that. It's not hard. It's a pretty easy process, but I just want you to be aware that that will be something you'll have to do with hybrid. You'll have to wear a face mask all day for you guys' protection, but your teachers will also be wearing one so that we're protecting you. So just make sure that you're aware that that will be something that's expected of you with hybrid. But you will be back in the building for a couple of days, and I know that some of you want that structure. You want to be back in the building and you need some of that more individualized school. Absolutely okay. Everyone is going to have a different reason for why they choose hybrid or why they choose virtual, and that's okay. We all have different backgrounds, we all have different family situations, and we all learn differently. So the option that I might choose if I were a student, it might be different than what you would choose, and that's okay. We all do different things, we all have different experiences, and what works for me might not work for you, and that's okay. Please don't choose the option that your best friend is choosing just because they're your best friend. Choose the option that works for you and your family and your bubble of people, whether that's mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, next door neighbor, your coworkers, whoever it is that's in your bubble of people that you trust to help you make these big decisions. Talk to them. Discuss the options. Discuss what's the best for you guys. Because what's good for you, your neighbor might not like that option. Totally okay. But you have 1 week from the day of me recording this on Friday, November 13th, which means that you have until Friday, November 20th, to decide which option you want. That's 1 week. I know that's not a lot of time. I know that's stressful, and I know it's hard, and that this is a huge decision that you're making that won't even start affecting you until January. I know that a lot can happen between now and January. But in order for the district to prepare for you guys, so that we have teachers in the building for those of you in hybrid, and that we have teachers online for those of you that choose to stay online, we need to have a rough idea of how many of you are going to be hybrid and how many of you are going to be virtual. So you've got a week, you've got time to figure it out and start thinking about it and start planning. Things could change, but as of right now, this is where we're at. If you do not make a selection by Friday, November 20th, the selection will be made for you. And that automatic selection is going to be the hybrid model, which means you'd be in the building a couple days and at home doing online stuff the other days. It's not in the building 2 days and nothing for the other 3. You don't get a 5-day weekend if you choose hybrid. As much as that sounds wonderful, not the case. You'll still be doing some online stuff with hybrid. But if you do not choose hybrid or virtual, and I don't care which one you pick, choose what's best for you and your family and your bubble of people. If you do not choose, you will automatically be set up for hybrid. As of right now, so as of Friday the 13th of November 2020 at 1:45 p.m., there is no option to change your mind. So once you choose online or hybrid, that is what you will be doing for all of second semester. And I know that's a lot for us to ask of you, especially for our juniors and seniors, that this is towards the end of your high school career and not really how we planned for it to go. But that's what I have to ask of you. And I'm so sorry, and I know that it's hard. And for lack of a better phrasing, I know that it kind of sucks. But that's what we have to ask of you so that we can make plans, so that we have people in place for both options, so that you get the most learning out of whichever option you choose. So even as of right now, I don't know if I'll be in the building or online. It's going to be dependent on what you guys choose. So your schedules for next semester might change a little bit. You'll still be in English or math or whatever you're scheduled for, but the time of day and teacher might change depending on how many of you choose to be in the building and how many of you choose to remain virtual. Just so that we have teachers for both and we have safe numbers of students that are in physical classrooms. So it might change a little bit, it shouldn't change a lot. Also, on the form, your parents will note that it says that your homeroom might change. It says homeroom, that is our advocacy. So you know homeroom is family advocacy. So for those of you that have me for an advocate, and you've had me for several years, that form says your homeroom might change. Just because I'm no longer your advocate, or whoever is no longer your advocate because of what you choose, does not mean that they won't help you. Everyone at Washington wants you to be successful no matter what you choose. You can absolutely continue to email the teachers that you know and get along with, and that know you, and are willing to work with you. It might take us a little bit to respond to an email. Classes happen, life happens, but we are here to support you. We want you to be successful. And so for my advocate children that have been putting up with my annoying voice for 3 years, if you are no longer my advocate come January 26th, you can still contact me. I'm not going to forget about you. I will absolutely still help you. I care about all of you and love all of you, and I want you to be successful in the option that works for you. I understand that that's not going to be the same for all of us, and that is okay. There are instructions in Google Classroom for how to access the parent form. Remember, if your parents don't have access to Infinite Campus, they need to contact either me and I can put them in touch with who they need, or they need to contact the Washington front office to get some help with setting up their parent portal for Infinite Campus. From there, they'll be able to access that form, but also your attendance, transcripts, and your grades and everything that they need is housed in Infinite Campus. Should something change, should the date change, should the options change, should anything that I have said so far change, there will be an update in Google Classroom. If it is a huge change, I will record another video and put that there for you, but I want you to have the information as it stands as of 1:45 on Friday, November 13th. This is what I know, and that's all the information I have. I learned this last night, late last night. I posted stuff in Google Classroom for my classes. I know some of you watching this aren't in my class, but if you need that information and you want to contact me, you absolutely can. But this is what I know. I know it's a hard decision. It's not going to affect you for a couple of months, but you have 1 week to make it. And that is hard and difficult, and you have to decide what's best for you. Don't think that I'm going to make that choice for you, because I can't. It is something that you and your bubble of family members and friends that are close to you need to make. And I wish I could help you make that decision. I can tell you what both options kind of look like. I can't give you a perfect picture, but I can't choose for you. At the end of the day, it's up to you and your families to decide what will work for you. I know it's hard and I know it's stressful, but I also know that you can handle it. And I know that you're going to choose what works for you, and that is wonderful. If you need help with any of this, please, please, please let me know. I want you to be as successful as possible and give you as many resources as possible. So please let me know if there is something you need. I know there's only a week, but if you need something from me, please let me know. I will try to respond to my emails throughout the weekend and in evenings, because I know this deadline is coming up on us. I know it's kind of short notice, and I know it's a big decision. So think about it. Take a deep breath. Think what will work for you, and make good choices. Wear a seatbelt, brush your teeth, and have a wonderful day. I will talk to you all and hopefully see you all very soon. Have a wonderful night, kiddos.